try it one more time.
Okay, now it's live. The updated.
Talking 1 2 3.
Testing
Talking
1 2 3 4 5.
Hello 1 2 3 1 2 3 4.
Hello 1 2 3 4. Both of us sound good. Testing 1 2 3. Okay. Turn my gain down? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And crowd mic, is it?
We can use the crowd mic, yeah.
Oh, well, it was kind of picking up on whatever you want. Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
Hello, testing.
As Maryland men's basketball returns from a trip out west to Las Vegas, they are back home in College Park for some December non-conference basketball. Welcome to College Park. My name is Benji Kaufman alongside my partner Daniel Stein. And Daniel, they did pick up a win against UNLV, but that was an ugly trip out west.
Yeah, Benji, just 1 for 3 did the Terps go in their game, in their series against a couple of really good teams in that Players Era tournament. It wasn't a really good look, but you have to remember that this is a Maryland team that is extremely new. There's only one returner to this team, and he hasn't even played yet. It's It's a new head coach. It's a new lineup. They were thrown into a tournament they haven't played before, and they didn't really come out that well. But they still have a winning record, and this is a get-right game as they get closer to Big Ten play. Certainly
has been a transition year for Buzz Williams' squad, and one thing we know about Buzz is that he very intentionally schedules those more challenging non-conference matchups. We saw it against top 15 teams in Gonzaga and Alabama. And Buzz said after the game that it affords us an opportunity to diagnose even more at a faster rate. So as December rolls around and conference play starts up in the next few weeks, we're finding out a little more about this Maryland basketball team.
We are. We're finding out kind of how they play, and it's a different model than how Kevin Willard had them play the last couple of years. This team is a lot more gritty. They're a lot more defensive based and a lot more based on rebounding. The offense hasn't really gotten there yet, but you've started to see some signs of it, and they're going to get one key piece back in Solomon Washington.
We'll talk about that starting lineup in a bit, but we're certainly seeing more of this Maryland basketball team, and injuries have certainly plagued the team, with Miles Rice still getting back to form, Solomon Washington yet to make an appearance, but we're seeing a lot of other guys step up as this team is starting to figure itself out, especially Alex Alston, the freshman from Chicago, where Benji and myself and Daniel reside, and it's nice to see some guys step up and as this team is working through its quirks.
It is. They're working through its quirks. It's a really young team, but what you have to keep in mind here against a team like Wagner, a 1-5 record out of the NEC is, I mean, Maryland plays in the Big Ten, Wagner plays in the NEC. This is a game that you expect to win, but you can't let it get away from you like you did with the Mount St. Mary's game.
Manhattan can certainly score. Their previous win coming in a 103-101 overtime victory over Manhattan. That was a week ago, and we'll see if both teams can shake off some rust. Wagner not playing since the 26th, and Maryland also haven't been played since Alabama on the same day. And as you hear the intros, starting lineups are being announced. We'll take a look at Maryland's. At guard is number 1, Darius Adams, the freshman, alongside Miles Rice, finally starting, getting back to form as he's working through his lower leg injury. And finally, Solomon Washington making his season debut for Maryland. He came along with Buzz Williams from Texas A&M, and we'll see Elijah Saunders come back, and of course, the anchor of this team, Pharrell Payne, for Maryland.
It's 5 newcomers, Benji. I mean, this is a Maryland team. We're going to hammer it into the ground all night. This is a team that's still figuring out how to play with each other, and especially when you mix in someone like Darius Adams at the point, who's a true freshman, a highly recruited one at that. But this is a Maryland team that's still figuring itself out, and a good opportunity in front of them against a 1-5 opponent in Wagner.
And Wagner, their starting lineup includes their top scorer, Nick Jones, at guard, alongside Eddie Placer, who's another double-digit scorer, Jaden Baker, another guard, and then the 2 forwards, Brian Akanmu and Sam Smith. Now, Smith is making his first start of the season after coming off the bench 4 or 5 games, and averaging about 6 points a game, only playing 10 minutes per contest, but he'll see some more action for the Seahawks, as well as a number of guys for the opposing away team.
Yeah, the guy I'm going to be looking out for, Benji, is Nick Jones, the junior guard, the transfer from Markham College. This is the guy who dropped 35 points in their last game at Manhattan. He can score, and that's a rarity in a conference like the NEC. So, again, if you're Maryland, you don't want to overlook this team, but this is a win that is a good one, a pretty easy one if they can come out and play well as they head into conference play, because they're going to need that momentum.
This non-conference schedule for Maryland has not been easy. We talked about Gonzaga and Alabama, but they even had some trouble against Mount St. Mary's about 2 weeks ago, but Diggy Coit came up clutch for Maryland with 41 points, but he'll be coming off the bench tonight, but we'll still see plenty of number 8 on the court. But you mentioned Nick Jones for Wagner, 35 points against Manhattan. Came off the bench in that first season opener against VCU, but he has now started 5 straight games and has been lighting it up for Wagner.
Yeah, Jones is a guy that you're going to want to really look out for. But this is a Wagner team that's not that dissimilar from Maryland. There's a lot of transfers. It's an interim head coach, 2 head coaches that are kind of stepping into the role a bit, and that's something to look out for. And it's really something that's just become more normal in this landscape of college basketball.
Cue rock and roll part 2 as we are getting going here in College Park. Maryland will start going left to right with Wagner right to left. Maryland in their white uniforms with the red numbers, and Wagner coming in with their green jerseys and their, looks to be their gold numbers on the uniforms as both teams are ready to tip off. And we'd always love to see how animated Buzz Williams get. He's already having a conversation with the ref. Always having a lot of fun on the court. But both teams anxious to get started. Payne and Smith already sizing each other up at center court. Solomon Washington just waiting for his first minutes of the season. Last year for Texas A&M, he was one of the best wing defenders in the country, so we'll see if he can make an effect for this Maryland team. As here we go. Payne wins the tip, and Maryland will start things off. Miles Rice dribbling up the court at the top of the key, and he swings it to Payne. Dribble handoff to Adams, back to Rice. Working the left side, he finds Payne in the low post. Short corner for Payne. Working inside, working on Smith. Payne, dribble, inside. Easy lay is good. Just 20 seconds in, Payne getting on the board.
Yeah, this is what you're going to want to see from Pharrell Payne. 6'9", going up against 6'6". He's got the height advantage. Might as well use it. Terps on the board first.
Nick Jones here now swings it to Jaden Baker for Wagner, already making their way across the timeline. 16 on the shot clock. Wagner swinging it around. Went to Akanmu, back to Baker. Now to Placer. Back to Akanmu, lots of swinging. Under 10 on the shot clock. Akanmu dribbling inside. Stopped by Payne. Here gets a screen for Placer. Placer, 3 seconds. Floater with the left hand, banks it home. And Wagner ties it up. Here comes Miles Rice. Dribbling from left to right. Crossing half court. A minute through College Park. Rice gets a screen from Payne. Payne trying to work inside. Stood up by Smith. Working inside, swings it out to Rice. Rice catches a screen from Saunders, dribbling down the right side, kicks it out to Washington, his first touch of the season, gets it to Adams, dribbling inside. 4 seconds on the clock, he's fouled. We're seeing a lot of drives from Darius Adams, but he comes up a little gimpy. Could be a cramp. Not favoring his right leg. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it's the right leg kind of around his knee. He hobbled towards the scorer's table, and now it looks like they're going to bring a sub in for him. Maybe after he shoots his free throws here. Darius Adams has had kind of an up and down season. We've started to see that scoring a little bit more, but sitting at about 14 points per game, it's the efficiency that he's going to be trying to work on.
He's certainly maturing overnight. Had 20 points against Alabama. He's been showing off a lot of confidence, and he'll be shooting free throws for Maryland. First one is through. 18:41 on the clock. Now Maryland has a 1-point lead. Still getting things going. Andre Mills watching from the side, about to check in for the freshman. Darius Adams was committed to UConn, and then 10 days later, decommitted, and now he's in Maryland for Buzz Williams' squad. He misses the second free throw. Payne arguing for the rebound. This ball will go out of bounds in favor of Wagner. 3-2 we stay put at.
Yeah, and Adams is still going to kind of limp off. He'll talk to Buzz as he goes to the sideline, but a very capable backup in Andre Mills, who's been impressive through the first handful of games.
Included a bucket from sitting down right in front of the basket against Alabama. That was very crafty from the redshirt freshman. Here's Wagner, already across half court. This is Jaden Baker working on Rice. Swings it to Placer, who's at the top of the key. Trying to feed it inside for Smith. It's upended by Mills. Swings it to Akanmu. Smith, a three. He'll try it. In and out. Payne with the rebound. Maryland coming down the other end. Miles Rice swinging it to Solomon Washington. Thought about the three. Finds it inside for Payne. Payne working, spinning. Nice pass to Washington, who couldn't throw down the jam, but he's fouled. Nice cut there from Solomon Washington, who's already feeling things out here, and he'll go to the line.
Well, this is what you want to see here if you're Buzz Williams. You got your two transfers from Texas A&M, one of a handful of them on the team, and Payne with a nice crafty pass behind him midair. Washington went up strong for it, got the foul.
Buzz Williams brings a handful of players, including Solomon Washington and Pharrell Payne, and they talked a lot about earlier in the year how they've had to help the other guys acclimate. Even though everyone is new, they still come with a sense of familiarity for this Maryland team. First free throw is good.
That familiarity is so important, and it was something that Maryland went through a little bit last year, as a lot of their starters in that Crab 5 were transfers or rookies, basically, with Derek Queen, and then he also had Jacoby Gillespie and Rodney Rice, Selton Miguel, all transfers as well.
Went to the Sweet 16 a year ago, and Washington can't hit on the second. And here comes Wagner. 4-2, 2 minutes into College Park. Jaden Baker will get a screen from Akanmu. Sam Smith will try it again from the top of the key, and he hits this one. Doesn't even hit the rim, and Wagner goes up one. Here comes Maryland now. Miles Rice crossing half court. Approaching the top of the key. Hands it off to Pharrell Payne, who swings it to Washington. Swinging it to Rice. It's a screen from Payne. Saunders wide open in the corner. Short. Payne with the offensive rebound. Patience. Can't hit the layup. Might have been blocked. Washington saves it. Nice hustle play. Rice couldn't feed it inside. This ball's nearly stolen. Ball is pinballing around, but it ends up for Maryland. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Solomon Washington feeding it inside to Saunders. 5 seconds. Back out to Washington. He'll try a deep three. Short. And Placer for Wagner with the rebound. Ugly possession on offense for Maryland. And here come the Seahawks. Here's Baker. Wanted a three. He'll swing it to Akonmu in the corner, being guarded by Rice. Back to Baker, who's guarded by Saunders. Swing it to the top of the key for Placer. The lefty will try the three, and it's short. And Saunders pulls down the uncontested rebound. 3 minutes through in this game. 5-4 Wagner. Andre Mills driving from the corner off the long swing pass. He'll catch his own miss, and he'll miss it again. Wagner tried to save it. It'll stay with Maryland. Little sloppy basketball from both teams here as we're getting settled in.
Yeah, the Terps just 1 for 6 shooting. In that last possession, they had a couple of good looks. You don't necessarily want to see Solomon Washington shooting threes. He hasn't been particularly potent from behind the arc, just 19% last year for Texas A&M.
Now Colin Metcalf checking in for Maryland. Big fella giving Pharrell Payne a little break. And we always see it from Buzz Williams. He always approaches the man checking out, always has something to say. Very players-heavy coach. Here's Andre Mills driving inside off the inbound pass, and he can't hit the layup. Hit every part of the rim except the inside. Here comes Wagner on the fast break. Baker is blocked by Washington, and he'll take it up the other way. Mills doesn't even see the corner pass as Solomon Washington tried to feed a long pass from half court. Miscommunication from the two A&M guys from a year ago. The ball goes the other way.
First turnover of the night for the Terps, and that's those chemistry issues we talked about, even though those are two guys who come from the same school, but just didn't see them on that cross-court pass.
Here comes Wagner on the other end. This is Akonmu to Nick Jones. Their leading scorer working on Washington, trying to drive inside. He'll hook up a bad shot, but here comes Maryland with the block. Metcalf with the block, Rice with the rebound. He stops dribbling with Akonmu right behind him, and he draws a foul.
Yeah, that was really nicely done by Miles Rice. He knew that Akonmu was on his back, so he just put on the brakes, and he just fell right on top of him. So this is what the Terps do. They've had to get a lot of their points through the free throw line because their just regular offensive possession hasn't been very potent, and that's why the Terps are one of the best teams from the free throw line. And now you got a better scorer on the floor now in Diggy Coit.
Let's see if number 8 can give the team some much-needed offensive rhythm. He swings it to Mills, and it's back to Coit. Coit working it to Rice. Nice swing pass to Mills in the corner for three, and it's short. And Wagner comes away with the rebound. Baker to Smith, and back to Baker. Baker coming down the right side of the court, being guarded by Rice. 5-4 Wagner, under 16 minutes to go. And now Sam Smith, the center for Wagner, with the mismatch on Rice. Pump faking everywhere, and he can't get the layup. Off Metcalf's foot into the hands of Miles Rice. Ball goes the other way. Rice swinging it to Coit. Driving inside, the shortest man on the court. Can't hit the layup, but Metcalf is there to clean it up for the easy putback lay. 6-5 Maryland with just over 15 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Jaden Baker swinging it to Xavier Fitch. Now Placer. And here's Nick Jones at the top of the key, being guarded heavily by Miles Rice. Trying to work it on the left side. He meets Metcalf, and he's short on the lay. No foul. And Elijah Saunders catches the rebound and is met by Xavier Fitch, who jumped in late for that one. 6-5 Maryland as we're just about 5 minutes through in this non-conference battle. We'll be right back. You are listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Radio. 5 minutes in to this non-conference contest between the Maryland Terrapins and the Wagner Seahawks. And now to introduce the third member of our team, Jackson Wantman. And Jackson, you have a little more about that trip out west to Las Vegas for Maryland.
Yeah, Benji, well, as we know, Maryland is coming back from the Players Era Tournament Festival in Las Vegas. It's now the new premier sort of in-season Feast Week tournament, but didn't maybe go as well as Maryland may have hoped, but to the casual fan, it's about what you have expected. Maryland kicked off the tournament by defeating UNLV 74-67, but the next two games that followed were blowouts. Maryland fell to Gonzaga the next night 100-61, and then Alabama 105-72. Two teams that are probably going to go deep in March, but nevertheless some serious blowouts. Buzz Williams said yesterday that they learned a lot about themselves as a team and as a staff in that tournament. Said that it was hard to swallow for a lot of players, and quite frankly, the tournament left them in sort of an embarrassed state of sorts, but he said they're already taking those lessons, learning, and applying them. Quick update on Darius Adams, though, guys. We saw him limp off after that early foul that he took early on. He limped over to the bench. He was on the elliptical bike for a while, but now he's sitting on the bench. We'll see if he checks back in soon. Back over to you guys, Benji.
Thank you, Jackson. And now teams are having a lot of trouble finding themselves in this game. Maryland shooting 1 for 9, and Wagner in a near 3-minute scoring drought. So we'll see if these teams can pick up some offensive rhythm as things get going.
Yeah, it's been a really slow offensive go. Thanks, Jackson, for the report, as always. But these both teams have only made 4 combined field goals in a combined 17 attempts. Not a good look efficiency-wise.
Now Saunders inbounds it to Coit, and action resumes here in Maryland, with Coit getting a screen from Payne. Thought about the swing to Rice, and he'll drive inside, and he's fouled. A body bump, and Payne will go to the line. Already 3 different players for Maryland going to the charity stripe so far tonight. Been a clear emphasis for Buzz Williams' squad.
Yeah, and when you have a team that can't really shoot particularly consistently from behind the arc, that's the only strategy. Try to go inside and draw fouls. And, of course, Payne is going to be the biggest guy on the court, and he's been pretty good at that so far.
Gets a lucky roll on the first one. 6'9", 250. Of course, he had what looked like a scary injury against Marquette, but he comes back just over a week later, and he's back leading Maryland. Great to see for number 21 as he hits the second with ease. 8-5 Maryland leads. Now Jaden Baker for Wagner will take it the other way. He'll swing it to Placer. Back to Baker. Across half court. Get it to Xavier Fitch, who works it to John Awoke. Back to Baker, who gets a screen from Bezul. He's bodied a lot by Payne and loses the ball on his own. And Maryland forces a turnover.
Yeah, Baker wanted a foul on that one, but he just kind of ran into Farrell there and lost possession of the ball. But now Wagner going with some full court press here.
Nice to see Darius Adams checking back in and already meeting a full court press from Awoke and Fitch. And he'll draw a foul. 14:30 on the clock. Low scoring affair. Maryland still leads 8-5. And Saunders will have a sideline out of bounds. Inbounding attempt. No, we'll switch it with Adams from his own half of the court.
Well, it's good for the Terps because that's already 6 fouls on Wagner here in just under 6 minutes.
Just one more into the double bonus. Or to the single bonus, excuse me. Now here's Adams working on the wing, dribbling it to the top of the key, swinging it to Washington. Dribble handoff to Saunders, back to Adams. 15 on the shot clock. Handed it off to Payne, who spins inside. Left-hand lay is good. Big strides from the big fella. Now here's Wagner working it the other way. John Awoke to Baker. Andre Mills getting ready to check in for Maryland. Payne has been incredible on that drop step all season long, and he showed it off right there, but now Wagner trying to answer that. Baker with a screen from Bezul. Swinging it to Awoke at the left wing. Gets a screen from Bezul. Back to Baker, who couldn't control it, and Coit comes up with a steal. David Coit up ahead to Farrell Payne on the fast break. 2 steps, fouled. On the left-handed layup attempt. Doesn't hit the rim, hits the backboard. And Farrell Payne is helped up by 3 of his teammates. He's all good, and he'll go back to the line.
Yeah, fell right in front of the cheerleaders on the left side of the block there, and this is a 6-0 run for the Terps, and this is the brand of basketball they play. It may not be pretty, there might be a lot of missed shots from the field, but they have a 5-point lead, and they're prepared to add more with Payne going to the charity stripe again.
One thing that Buzz Williams emphasizes is just shooting more balls than the other team, and that works in the fast break game. And Payne Swishes the first one. 11-5, Maryland leads, with Andre Mills checking back in for Elijah Saunders. Seen a lot of guys shuffle in and out. Payne hits the second. Pharrell Payne with a quick 8 points for Maryland out of the team's 12. Now it's John Awoke at the top of the key for Wagner. Pressure from Coit, but a foul. Put his hand in the cookie jar, and he had to pay for it. Another foul.
Coit's a guy who's averaged over a steal a game this season, and sometimes that happens when you're as aggressive as Buzz has them on defense. You're going to get called for those reach-ins.
Washington now guarding Baker at the perimeter. Swings it to Fitch, who's being guarded by Adams. Ball will carry him back to Baker, working on Washington. Nice poke from Adams. That went off the leg of Baker, and ball goes the other way. Great defense from Washington that set up the crafty play from Darius Adams.
Yeah, it's 4 turnovers now on Wagner. And this is the Buzz Williams defensive vision here. You're really not letting anyone blow past you, and they're doing a really good job when the Seahawks drive on that near lane. I mean, Maryland's just not giving an inch.
You saw Solomon Washington was very hype after forcing that steal alongside Adams. Coit trying to get it in. Gets it into Washington. And a press. Man press from Wagner as Coit crosses the timeline. Coit swinging it to Mills. Working it to Washington, who's being guarded by Fitch. Swings it to Saunders. 13 minutes to go in the first half. Solomon Washington, a fadeaway jumper is no good. Fitch with the rebound. And the other way, the Seahawks come. 12-5, Maryland leads still. Jones trying to get a nice pass to Bezul, and he throws it down over Mills. Nice pick and roll action from the Seahawks, and they come up with a jam. Andre Mills working it the other way. Guarded by Awoke. Gets a screen from Saunders in the short corner. A pick and pop for Saunders. Thought about the shot, but he'll look for someone to swing it to, and he finds Adams. Adams driving down the middle of the lane. Upended by a defender. Pump faking, leaning inside. Can't hit the rim.
I like the idea, though. Adams didn't settle for that mid-range. He drove inside for the better shot, just couldn't get it to roll in.
Seahawks coming down the other way, and Jones couldn't pick up a jumper, but it's Fitch with a one-handed putback lay. Difficult shot for the sophomore forward out of Chicago. Mills now coming the other way on the right side. Dribble handoff to Adams. Swings it to Coit. 3 players ready to check in for Maryland. Coit, pick and pop to Saunders. He'll take this one, and he'll hit it. Top of the key shot from Elijah Saunders. Nice play.
And Saunders, like a lot of players on this team, hasn't been that good from outside the 3, just 25%, but a perfectly run pick and fade, open 3, and he drains it.
First 3 made for Maryland, each team with just 1, as it's 15-9, Maryland leads. Wide open in the corner is Awoke, and he hits. You see Jaden Baker with a nice corner 3, wide open to answer, and it's back to a 3-point game. Now Coit coming down the other way. 2 big fellas ready to check in with Payne and Alston. And the little guy, Coit, swings it to Mills. Corner 3 from the right side. He missed the last one, and he hits the back rim on this one. Baker coming down. Here's Jones. Almost blocked by Mills, but Saunders with a rebound, but a foul. Late call from the ref. But at the under 12 timeout, we will go to the break with Maryland up 15-12. You're listening to Maryland men's basketball from College Park on WMUC Sports Radio. Back in College Park, 15-12, Maryland leads with 11:02 on the clock. And a little bit about our head coaches. Buzz Williams for Maryland, spent 6 years at Texas A&M and now brings a few of his guys and his staff over to College Park. And for Wagner, Donald Copeland is their head coach, suspended. Bring in DeJuan McMillan, the interim for the Seahawks. Picked up his first win over Manhattan. That was 103-101 overtime thriller. Graduated Hofstra 2012 and also made his way at Mercyhurst as a graduate assistant coach. He's been an assistant last year, and now he is the interim this season.
Yeah, this is a Wagner team that, you know, the 1-5 record might not show, but they're just 2 seasons removed from an NCAA tournament appearance. That was as a 16 seed. They didn't make it out of that because they ran into North Carolina. But when you come from the NEC, making the NCAA tournament is an accomplishment in its own right. And the fact that McMillan is suspended, of course, that's a sore subject. But McMillan now stepping into the interim coach now has kind of a difficult operation upon him with an 0-5 record, 1-5.
Now Wagner on the offensive side from the inbound. Here comes Awoke driving, loses it. Rice forces the steal, but he hits the ball last. It'll stay here with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Maryland with a 3-point lead, letting the team out of the NEC hang around. And here's top scorer Nick Jones driving on Isaiah Watts, who checks in. He short airballs the short floater, and here comes Miles Rice down the other side. Darius Adams trailer, he'll take the 3, short. Now it goes to Wagner. Maryland 1 for 5 from 3 to start it out. And Wagner 2 for 4. Baker's pass for Bazul is too high. Another turnover. They're averaging 15 a game, which is second worst in the NEC.
Yeah, and those kind of looks are going to be the most frustrating ones to watch on tape. It's a nicely done pick and roll. You have Basil open and just air throws him. That ball goes. I mean, when you overshoot a guy who's 6'7", I mean that's not a good thing.
Yet another turnover for the Seahawks, and now Rice will take it the other way. Gets a screen from Payne. A nice pass inside. Who's able to control it? Payne working on Fitch. He bodies him. Left hand is good. Showing off the sizes for Al Payne. Easy 10 points for the big fella. Now it's Xavier Fitch for the Seahawks working down the other way. 17-12 Maryland. Placer working it to Bazul. He'll try the top of the key 3. Couldn't find the bottom of the net. Now it's Rice. It's Adams coming down the other way. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Adams swinging it to Alston, who had a nice trip out west despite the 1-2 record. Now to Miles Rice, to Isaiah Watts. Darius Adams to Payne, back to Adams. A lot of movement from Maryland. Looking for an opening. Adams nearly lost it, gets it back, swings it to Watts. Step back 3 off the little push, and he can't hit it. Confident shooter, though, is Isaiah Watts, and Pharrell Payne hit the deck, but he's all good. And it's a quick 5-on-4 opportunity for the Seahawks. Payne is back. All men are even. Here's Wagner working it inside to Fitch from the wing. And it's stolen by Adams. Maryland coming down the other way. 3-on-2 opportunity. Rice behind the back pass for Adams, who couldn't hit the layup. Alston couldn't clean it up. Payne with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Man, this should have been a highlight reel play, Benji. This was Rice going down the right block behind the back pass to Adams. He just smoked the layup. Luckily, Payne was there for the rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line, just adding to this free throw parade. It'll already be the 9th and 10th attempt.
Miles Rice averaging 3 assists a game so far, and he's had to be that point guard role. It started out with Darius Adams, but now with Miles Rice coming back to play that number 1 spot, it's been able to allow Adams to ease in. He almost got a highlight assist there, but here's Payne at the line, and he's short on the first attempt. Lead stays at 5 for Maryland. Michael Cooper checking in for Wagner. And the starting center, Sam Smith, in as well. And with Maryland, it's Adams, Rice, Payne, Watts, and Alston. And Payne can't hit the second. In and out on the second attempt after the first fell short. After an empty trip to the line, here comes Wagner. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Placer working it inside to Smith. Big on big matchup. Here's Michael Cooper driving into Payne. Nice pass for Sam Smith. He hits the easy lay. And that breaks a 2-minute and 17-second scoring drought for the Seahawks. Now it's Rice working down the left side, trying to drive on a Woke. Little push off
Trying to find Payne inside, and he does on the low corner. Working on Smith, trying to retaliate. Right-hand shot is no good. Fading away a little bit over the big man. Smith comes down with it, and here comes Wagner. Nick Jones working on Alston. Little guy working on the big fella. Swinging it out to Placer. The lefty for three is no good. Payne with the rebound. Ball goes the other way. A foul on Michael Cooper. It's a difficult task to box out Pharrell Payne.
Yeah, and Cooper at 6'6", just not able to do so. Commits another foul. But I think the problem so far for Maryland Benji has been the high percentage shots. They're on to something by getting Payne going with 10 points, but 4 of those are from the free throw line. And credit where credit's due with Wagner, too, because they're hanging in there. We talked about how they're 1-5, but they're only down by 3 here significantly into that first half, and they've managed to clamp Maryland's offense pretty well.
But with that, that's now 9 fouls for Wagner, and that'll put Payne back at the line for a 1-and-1 attempt, and he's short again. 4 for 7 from the free throw line for Pharrell Payne, and now Wagner has Nick Jones coming down the right wing, working on Watts, trying to drive, find an angle. He'll step back for the mid-range jumper, and it's short. Crowd lets him know about it, and Miles Rice comes down the other way. Working on Awoke. Nearly slipped him out of his shoes on his crossover attempt. Get it out to Watts. Miles Rice in the corner, right in front of the Wagner bench. Crossover, swing pass to Saunders in the corner, out to Adams. 12 on the shot clock. Rice wanting a screen from Payne, and he gets one. Working on the right side, mid-range J is no good. This ball will stay here as they try to box out Elijah Saunders. And the 10th foul for Wagner as we go to the under 8 with Maryland up 17-14 with 7:45 on the clock. You're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports Radio. .45 on the clock in the first half between Maryland and Wagner. And the third man of our team, Jackson Wantman, joins us back again with a bit of a history lesson about these two teams.
Yeah, Benji, well, this is the 4th all-time meeting between Maryland and Wagner. Maryland is 3-0 all-time, but what happened the last time that these two teams met? Well, that'll take us back 11 years ago, November 14th, 2014, right here in the Xfinity Center. Maryland won 82-48. It was definitely a blowout, opposite to what we're seeing right now. It'll also take us back 2 coaches ago for Maryland. Mark Turgeon was leading the charge at the time in College Park. In that game, Des Wells led the team with 18 points. And then there was a true freshman by the name of Mello Trimble, who had 13 points, and he went on to do not too bad here in College Park. Later on that season, Maryland made it all the way to the Big Ten semifinal game, where they did fall to Michigan State. And then they made the NCAA tournament as a number 4 seed, where they reached the round of 32, eventually falling to number 5 West Virginia. Like I said before, Benji, this one is a little bit closer right now. We'll see if the Terps can pull away here. Back to you guys.
It's been close because of poor shooting from both teams. Maryland starting out 5 of 21 from the field, with Wagner 6 of 17. Just sloppy play from both teams and low scoring, poor shooting affairs. It's something that Maryland has been used to so far this season.
Yeah, they're only shooting 41% from the field as a team. That's the second lowest in the Big Ten, and that's something that they really want to work on. It's especially unusual for Terps fans when you consider last year. Maryland was unusually good from behind the arc. They were unusually good, especially inside, with 2 big men that could shoot pretty well, and they're going through some growing pains so far in 2025.
Pharrell Payne back to the line, shooting 2, and he hits the first, and that breaks 2.5 minute scoring drought for the Terps. Payne now with 11 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, and 5 of 8 from the line. Maryland as a team shooting 7 of 12, make it 8 of 13 as Payne converts on both after back-to-back empty trips. 19-14 Maryland. Now Wagner breaking the half-court press from Maryland. This is John Awoke working on Adams. Trying to find space, and he'll swing it to Smith. He'll try the deep top of the key 3. Teams wrestle for the rebound, and now it's Adams coming away with it.
Poor shot selection from Smith there.
Saunders swinging it to Adams. Isaiah Watts, confident shooter, yet to take some 0 for 1 tonight. Now Payne to Rice. It's a passing from Maryland so far on this possession. Rice swinging it to Adams. Trying to find a lane inside, driving right-hand scoop layup is no good. Hit every part of the rim, and Michael Cooper comes away with the rebound, and he's fouled by Pharrell Payne.
And Darius Adams a little bit slow walking to his side of the court, but I really like what I've saw from him today so far. He's shown a good tendency, not taking the bad shots. It's a nice drive. It's a tough layup, but you know, as you get more into your college career, you're going to get more of those to roll in. And so the points, again, haven't been there for Maryland, but they're still up by 5.
Certainly hasn't been settling for bad shots to start his freshman season, and now 3 new Terps check in. Diggy Coit, Solomon Washington, and Guillermo Del Pino will join in Adams and Payne on the court. Under 7 minutes to go. Sam Smith for Wagner will pass up the bad shot, but he'll swing it out of bounds, and Maryland will come away with it. Another turnover for Wagner. Make it 7.
It's a nice job by Guillermo Del Pino, who has 4 steals, now 5 on the, or 4 still forcing that turnover. 10 points, 2 steals in his last go-around versus Alabama, and the freshman looked a little raw in the first couple of games, but now he's starting to pick it up.
Been playing some solid ball. Not a ton of minutes so far for the freshman, but Buzz has talked about how much this team rallies for him. Just a genuinely fun dude, but he turns it over there. And now Sam Smith, the big fella for Wagner, will come down the other way. Still 19-14 Maryland. Adams picked it away from Jones, but a foul is called. Darius Adams make it his first. Wagner with 10 fouls, which means Maryland's in the double bonus. But that is only the 4th foul for the Terps. Hasn't been clean on offense, but they've been forcing turnovers on defense and not fouling a ton as well.
Yeah, Maryland only sitting at 4 fouls. They're not in the bonus yet. Wagner hasn't been so lucky, but no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes from Wagner.
We'll try to break that drought right here with Jaden Baker. Getting a loud message from their interim head coach. And he'll take the 3 from the top of the key, and he'll hit it over Diggy Coit. Nice shot from Jaden Baker, and it's a 2-point game.
The announcer's jinx is undefeated, and Baker's a guy who shoots 33% from the three-pointer, and he knocks one in there. 2-point game.
Wagner shooting very solid from the 3 this season. They're now 3 for 8 tonight. Payne drop step, right-hand layup is no good. A handful of missed layups for the Terps to start out this one. They'll stay put at a 2-point game. Almost a corner 3 from Wagner. It's Michael Cooper driving to the top of the key. He'll swing it out to the corner. It's no good from Jaden Baker, who hit the last one, and Washington comes away with the rebound. Here's Diggy Coit. Working on Baker. Pharrell Payne trying to size up his defender, and he gets the ball over Smith. Payne out to Guillermo Del Pino, corner 3. No good off the back rim. And here comes Wagner with a 4-on-2 opportunity. The lob, the jam! Incredible play from Jaden Baker to Nick Jones. This bench is loud, and Xfinity can hear it. Tied up with 5 minutes to go.
Well, that's definitely one way to tie up the game. I mean, Maryland didn't have enough numbers on that last play, but
Payne to Guillermo Del Pino. Corner 3 is no good. Washington offensive rebound. He'll try the lefty layup, but a foul.
There's a couple of ways I think Maryland has left some points on the board, and one of them is the free throw game. I mean, they're at 8 of 13 right now. That's just 61%. If they can just get up to their season average of 78%, I mean, that's adding another 2-3 points, but there's also been layups that they just have left off the rim, and they need to do a better job of getting those higher percentage layups.
Lots of missed layups, but also a lot of free throws so far. Solomon Washington returning to the line. Went 1 for 2 in his last trip. Matches that total, hitting the first one there. Maryland, a team Buzz always wants to stress. He wants to win the rebounding battle. And so far, it's 19-18 in favor of Maryland. Nick Jones, top scorer for Wagner, checking out. Eddie Placer coming in. 4:49 on the clock. Maryland leading by 1. And Solomon Washington waiting to take the next free throw. And it's in and out. 1 for 2 at both trips he's had at the line. And now it's Jaden Baker being guarded by Washington. Gets a screen from Bazul, and he's working inside. Tough shot, no good. Payne tried to tip it out for someone to catch for the rebound, no good. And now here's Wagner with second chance. Short on the layup is Jaden Baker. A foul by Pharrell Payne. It'll stay here. Maryland couldn't come away cleanly with the rebound, and they have to pay for it. This foul will go against Darius Adams. That's his second. 15 foul, and Buzz keeping Adams in for now. See if the freshman can rebound himself from his second foul of this game. And now it's John Awoke inbounding from under the basket with Pharrell Payne guarding him. Wagner players trying to free themselves open, and Xavier Fitch. Fans wanted a double dribble. It hit his hand, and then he went behind the court, behind the timeline to catch it. No call from the ref. Here's Guillermo Del Pino guarding Placer, and he comes away stealing 2 points and taking the lead for the Seahawks. Fans unhappy. Here's Diggy Coit now, working on the right wing, catching a screen from Payne. He'll swing it to Adams. Thought about it, swinging it to Washington. Dribbling in the corner to Guillermo Del Pino. Back to Adams. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Adams a 3. His first one of the night is no good. And a nice rebound from Washington, who tries to draw contact, but missing the layup again. And here comes John Awoke of Wagner. Awoke working it to Akanmu. Blocked by Washington, but a foul. Excuse me, make that Michael Cooper going to the line for the Seahawks. When we come back from this media timeout, Wagner leading 21-20. We'll see if Maryland can pick up the pace. You're listening to Terps Basketball on WMUC Sports. .345 to go in the first half. And Wagner is the team leading 21-20 over Maryland, and scoring droughts have been a familiar sight for this Terps team all season long. No field goals in the last 6.5 minutes, shooting 0 of their last 10. We'll see if the teams can pick up the pace. Poor shooting on both sides, but Wagner shooting 38% and doubling Maryland's 19% field goal clip. It'll be Michael Cooper of Wagner going to the line. He will shoot 2.
This is going to be the first free throw attempts all half for Wagner so far.
It's Michael Cooper with the honor, 6'6", 215-pound junior. Hits the second.
And if it weren't for the Terps' 9 free throws that they've swished, this Wagner lead might be a lot bigger.
Cooper hits the back rim on the second, and it stays at 22-20, and Darius Adams pulls down a nice outstretching rebound. And Miles Rice will have the point guard duties. He'll swing it to Adams, dribble handoff to Saunders, back to Rice. Payne at the top of the key. Dribble handoff to Miles Rice, trying to find Payne inside. He'll swing it out to Saunders in the corner in front of the Wagner bench, and he drills it. Great offense from Maryland coming out of that timeout.
Yeah, it was a nice play design, and Saunders has already hit a 3 in this game. He finds himself open in the corner this time and hits it, and just like that, Maryland takes the lead back.
And here's Placer for Wagner, swinging it to Awoke, to Cooper, back to Placer, and now back to Baker. Here's Michael Cooper working on Adams. Now here's Sam Smith. Took a lot of threes from the top of the key, but that time he passes it up. Here's Placer from the wing, no good. Sam Smith with the rebound inside for Wagner. Blocked by Washington, but a foul. Hits the deck. Washington doesn't like the call. But the Seahawks will return to the line.
Yeah, we're looking up at it at the board. Boy, that's close. I mean, Washington did everything right, and Smith did too. He boxed out, got the board. I really like what I've seen from Washington on defense today. You mentioned how he's been a good perimeter defender, but his defense in the paint has been good too.
Picks up the foul there as Sam Smith for Wagner, making his debut in the starting lineup this season tonight. Hits the first free throw, and he's matched his season average of 6 points tonight. Averages 10 minutes per game this season. He's already hit 11. The bigger role, he's been pretty good. Hits both free throws, no problem there. He's got 7. And Wagner is back up by 1. Miles Rice will take the inbound. And a 2-2-1 press from Wagner, a whistle from the ref. And we'll do things over on the inbounds attempt.
I think right now for Maryland, it's uber important for them to just keep getting field goals. They started off well on offense with the Saunders 3. You can't rely on the free throws forever. You have to try to create some offense organically.
We'll see if those layups can fall for the Terps. A lot of missed shots from right inside the paint. Under 3 minutes to go. Rice driving down the right side, right hand. Another missed layup there, but Payne pulls it down. He cleans it up and lays it in. Maryland back up 1. Now Wagner, Michael Cooper inside to Sam Smith. Back out to Cooper in the corner. Thought about the 3, driving inside, meets Payne, swinging it out to Baker, who's short on the 3, barely hitting the rim. Cooper saves it off to Solomon Washington with the steal. Driving inside, Euro step, fading away. Lay is good. Wanted the foul, but instead he hits his layup, and Maryland is up by 3.
They make that the first field goal of Washington's Maryland career. This is not necessarily a high percentage shot, but he does a good job taking the ball coast to coast, a little fadeaway floater, if you can call it that, and Maryland's got a 3-point advantage.
Now here's Cooper to Baker. Back to Cooper for Wagner. 12 on the shot clock. Nice deflection from Miles Rice. Cooper gets it back. Sam Smith at the top of the key. He's already taken 3 threes from this spot. Directing traffic, 3 seconds. Cooper, nice cut inside, laying up inside. No good off the rim. Maryland comes away with it. Rice with a behind-the-back pass to nobody. Out to the bench. Back to the Seahawks.
Miles Rice was really good on that last defensive possession. He gets a no-look deflection, pivots inside on the rotation in the paint, and after a nice backdoor cut, he just puts his hands straight up, doesn't foul, and gets the missed field goal.
Miles Rice yet to get on the board so far tonight in 11 minutes. 0 for 2 from the floor. Here's Wagner, Jaden Baker. Just over a minute and a half to go in the first half, and Maryland has a 3-point lead. Baker working on Washington. Washington trying to take a charge. Instead, it's a block. And Jaden Baker of Wagner will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Solomon Washington can't believe it. That will be his second of the half, and Buzz not really motioning anybody to check in for him. So we are almost through this first half.
He's going to talk to the referee about it, and in Washington's had 2 fouls. Both of them have been pretty iffy as the first one goes for Wagner here.
It's Jaden Baker. Started every game so far this season, and he hits both. Baker with 8 points of the team's 25, and Wagner calls a timeout to talk things over with 1:27 on the clock. Maryland with a 1-point lead, just a 30-second timeout. We saw Maryland with a scoring drought. Now it's Wagner who hasn't scored from the floor in almost 3 minutes.
Yeah, both these teams not necessarily shooting where they want to. Maryland has gotten their field goal percentage up. Wagner's kind of stagnated a bit, sitting at 33%. Maryland just at 26%. But when you look at Wagner, Wagner's a team that's shooting about 45% from the field. That's top 5 in the NEC. Of course, we talked about how Maryland's on the lower end of things, but I think that's going to be the main adjustment in the second half, just getting those high percentage shots, because neither team has been able to do so.
And they've been getting a bunch of them with those layups. They're just not going down. But teams not shooting well from the three-point line. 3 of 11 Wagner, 2 of 10 for Maryland. To go with 20% from the floor is Maryland. And in 8 field goals for the Terps, just 2 assists. Whereas Wagner's made 9 field goals with 5 assists. Rice now taking it up the court. Looking to see if Maryland can go into the break on a high note. They are now only up by 1. Here's Adams in the corner in front of the bench. This shot's good. Rattles home the 3, and Maryland extends its leads to 4. Now it's John Awoke of Wagner coming down the other way with 1 minute to go in the first half. Miles Rice with the steal on the deflection, drawing contact, laying inside with the right hand, and it's good. Nice rhythm from the Terps, stealing a quick 5 points, and it's a 6-point lead.
It's 2 steals already for Miles Rice, and he just continues to play really good defense down the stretch here.
And here's Wagner trying to match it. Baker to Awoke to Cooper. Placer swinging it to Jaden Baker, catching a screen from Sam Smith, being guarded by Andre Mills. Baker feeding it inside to Smith. Long floater is in and out. Shot clock turned off. Under 27 seconds to go. We'll see if Maryland can go into the half. Ending it on a made shot. It's Coit dribbling it out in front of Buzz, waiting for signals, and he'll talk things over. See if they can get a nice final shot. 18 seconds to go, where Buzz Williams has called this timeout. And if you're Maryland, you're relying a lot on Pharrell Payne as usual, but it's been a lot of guys chipping in as of late. They've made 4 of their last 4 field goals.
Yeah, Payne's got 14 points. He's leading the way, Benji, but you have Darius Adams, who just knocked in that 3. Now he's 1 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from behind the arc, and then Miles Rice getting on the board with the steal and the breakaway layup. And so this is a time here for the Terps to just try to draw something up here. You have plenty of time. You have 18 seconds here. You can go with something long-winded, maybe use Payne as a disguise to find an open 3. Be interesting to see what Buzz draws up here.
These last minute and a half or so has shown that now anybody for Maryland can score in a number of ways, but it's just the offensive rhythm, the ability to get timely stops has held this team back. But I think once one guy gets going, then the next can, but it always starts with Pharrell Payne as of now. But Miles Rice had the nice lay, and Darius Adams hit the 3. So with 18 seconds to go, we'll see who gets the call to close out the first half. A sideline out of bounds near the Wagner bench. Darius Adams given the right spot, and he'll get it inside to Miles Rice right near half court. Asking for a screen is Miles Rice. Terps standing around, ISO ball for Rice. He'll swing it to Adams. 10 seconds left. Inside to Payne at the free throw line. Trying to get the job step, but he's bumped by Sam Smith. A clear foul with 5.7 left, and he will go to the line.
It's going to be the first time they tag Smith here. And for Maryland, that works. You get Payne to the line, and he hasn't been where he wants to for free throws, just shooting 6 of 9 here, but he's got a chance to, if he can go 8 of 11 from the charity stripe, that would be pretty close to his season average.
And even with Payne's 14 points, Sam Smith of Wagner has done a nice job matching the physicality. Just there a little too much hand fighting as Payne rattles home the first free throw. Payne's played 16 minutes of this 20-minute first half, and with 5.7 left, Maryland cannot put together a bigger lead as Payne misses the second one. 3 seconds to go. Wagner scrambling. Baker, a pull-up three at the buzzer is no good. Payne comes down with it, and Maryland will go into the break, finishing it out strong. A 6-0 run over the last minute and change. 33-26, the Terps lead. Daniel Stein will take over play-by-play duties when we come back at the Xfinity Center. You're listening to Terps basketball on WMUC Sports Radio.
It's a 7-point lead for Maryland men's basketball over Wagner as we're just about 3 minutes away from the start of the second half. Daniel Stein alongside Benji Kaufman, our man on the sidelines, Jackson Wantman, with you tonight for WMUC Sports. It's been a bit of a slow half offensively for both these teams. Benji, what did you see out there in the first 20 minutes?
You know, you said it, not a lot of good shooting tonight. Maryland shooting 10 of 33 from the floor, but we saw them finish the half strong, going 4 of its last 4. Obviously helping bolster that number a bit. And on the other side with Wagner, 9 of 29 from the floor, especially 3 of 12 from the three-point line. Each team knocking down 3 shots from behind the arc. Slow offense. Wagner's been allowed to hang around a little bit, and we'll see which team can pick up its offensive rhythm in the second half, and we'll see if Maryland can pull ahead or Wagner can draw closer.
It's been unusual for Wagner being one of the better shooting teams in the NEC. For Maryland, it's just a continuation of their shooting struggles in the onset of this season. But now we go down to our sideline reporter. Jackson, what you got for us?
Yeah, Daniel, well, you guys have obviously talked about the lack of shooting tonight. And on Wagner's side, they're 3 for 12 from the three-point line. And although Maryland hasn't done a good job shooting the three ball, they also haven't really done a good job defending it. Although that's been the opposite tonight. Wagner came into this game shooting 41% from deep this season as a team. That's good for 12th in the country, and it leads the NEC. Buzz Williams said that perimeter defense has been an eyesore for the Terps this season. That can take back to the Players' Era tournament when Alabama shot 45% from 3 against them. Gonzaga shot 42%. Buzz Williams also added that when the teams miss threes, Maryland needs to do a better job at getting those defensive rebounds. He quoted, "Long threes mean long rebounds." He says the two problems correlate very well together. They're trying to fix them simultaneously, and they're doing that very well tonight. Let's see if it'll carry over into these next 20 minutes. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jackson. Insightful report. And it's true. It's been 3 of 12 shooting for Wagner in this game. Just 3 of 11 are the Terps. And this is a Maryland team that did not have the best trip out west. And it started well. They beat UNLV in an ugly game, 74-67, but then matched up against 2 top 15 teams. First Gonzaga, where they lost by 39, and then number 8 Alabama, where they lost by 33. But this is the final tune-up for Maryland in the 9th game of the season before a tough stretch in conference play. And it starts at Iowa, who's been a tough team this season in the Big Ten. And then you go on the road at Michigan. And so, Benji, this is a conference slate for the Terps that is no slouch right off the bat.
We talked about it earlier that Buzz Williams schedules these more challenging non-conference games to prepare them for Big Ten matchups. And obviously, you mentioned it will start in a challenging spot on the road at Iowa, who's had a great start to the season, led by Drake transfer Bennett Sturtz and a new coach. That program being revitalized a little bit, and then they'll come back home for a Saturday night, likely to be a sellout crowd against Michigan, who's looking like one of the best teams in the country. And we saw Gonzaga take care of Maryland, winning by about 30 points, and then the next night, Michigan destroyed Gonzaga. They're looking like a strong team. We'll see if Maryland can pick up the pace tonight and have some good practices and pick up a road against Iowa before that massive game against Michigan.
Michigan, of course, the number 3 team in the most recent AP poll. Dusty May doing a great job up there in Ann Arbor. And then Ben McCollum, the first-year head coach for the Hawkeyes, taking over a tough job for an Iowa team that's been very good historically. So here are the Seahawks going left to right. This is Sam Smith on the ball here at the top of the key. He hands it off to Nick Jones, the good point guard who's been kept relatively quiet. Now in the left corner, a shot fake from Placer, a drive inside the paint. They kick it back out to Jones. 12 on the shot clock, and an offensive infraction, or was it on the defense? It's going to be on Solomon Washington. Start off the half. That's his 3rd.
His 3rd foul, and he just motioned to Buzz Williams, like, it's okay, keep me in the game. But Buzz not taking it, and Andre Mills will come in. Texas A&M players trading spots.
So the first foul of the half for either team on Solomon Washington in his Terps debut. Here's Baker on the left wing. Now into the left corner. Placer drives, picks up his dribble, and kicks it back out. Baker against Saunders with the right hand up. Drives inside, keeps that pivot foot down, and lays it in off the glass. Wagner off to a good start, cutting the lead to 5, 33-28. Here come the Terps right to left. Rice to Saunders, who dumps it off to Adams. Now goes back to Rice to complete the 5 on the floor. Mills and Payne for Maryland. Here is Andre Mills, the Texas A&M transfer, the redshirt freshman. Takes a couple of dribbles, kicks it back out to Miles Rice. 10 on the shot clock. Rice near side, drives, kicks it back out. Andre Mills with a left-handed shot. Tries a three, can't get it in off the bounce. But the rebound goes to Darius Adams, who goes up strong and is fouled. And so the true freshman out of Manchester, New Jersey, Adams will head to the line. And just picking up where the Terps left off in the first half with some free throws.
Not often you see freshmen making hustle plays like that, let alone the five-star Darius Adams. We saw him scramble, get on the ground again in the Mount St. Mary's game, made some nice crafty plays out west in Las Vegas, and here he is with the offensive rebound and the pump fake, and he will go back to the line, place where he has been used to being at all season long so far.
Foul is on Sam Smith, his second. The first goes from Darius Adams, who's a 78% free throw shooter this season. And Adams, a guy who was a five-star recruit, according to 24/7 Sports, and Rivals, a guy who's in the consensus top 25. Quietly one of the top prospects ever to walk into Xfinity Center, not just in the Buzz Williams era. He drains both of his free throws, 35-28, left to right go the Seahawks, briefly having it poked away was Baker. He now drives on Mills inside, spins around, kicks it out. Jones takes a step inside, gathers his dribble with the right hand. He's blocked by Payne. It goes out of bounds. Wagner couldn't stay in, and it's a turnover by the Seahawks. There's that big frame from Payne swatting that ball away. Terps take over.
Just his first block of the evening, but that's something he's been doing all season long. It started with Darius Adams jumping super high for that contest. Young fella's got to keep his feet on the ground, something he's still working through, but nice play from Payne.
Here's the Indiana transfer, Miles Rice, who dishes it off to Payne, hovering around the three-point line. Top of the key, it's Rice. Picks up a screen from Farrell. Into the corner, Elijah Saunders. Down low to Payne. With his back to the basket, throws it up, no good, and another foul drawn. Payne with a team-leading 15 points will head to the free throw line as the Seahawks continue to not be able to play cleanly on defense.
That's Sam Smith's second foul of the night so far. We've seen him play very solid defense inside, but both of his fouls have come against Payne, and it's come against too much arm action. Last time it was a push on Payne, and this one just grappled his waist a little too much, and now Payne's back at the line.
Swishes the first one to make it 36-28 Terps. Just getting started here in the second half, 18-18 on the clock. It was competitive in the first with Wagner at one point taking the lead, but the Terps pulled away right at the end. And Payne can't get the second one to go. Up for grabs, the Seahawks able to grab it. Here's Sam Smith, who passes it off to the junior Eddie Placer. Placer down low. Smith spins inside on Payne. With two hands up, Farrell guards him. Smith backs away, throws it up, in and out off the rim. Rebound Saunders, Terps going quickly. Rice with a behind the back to Mills in the corner near side. In and out as well. Adams able to poke it away briefly, but now it's the Seahawks on the other side. Open three-pointer, Jones near side, it's good. Nick Jones, a guy who averages a team lead 16.7 points a game, hits a three. Miles Rice quickly on the other end answers with a layup. 38-31 Terps here with 17:30 to go in this second half. Here's Jones, gets a screen from Smith. Working on Adams. Hops inside, goes under Payne, but misses the layup. Too short off the front iron. Darius Adams comes the other way. 38-31. Maryland ahead by 7. Adams against Placer. Drives inside with the right hand, no good. And a foul drawn as Payne put it back up emphatically, but it won't count. Adams heads to the free throw line again. Already Wagner's third foul of the half.
That was an issue in the first half. Wagner not defending without fouling, and already 3 in the first 3 minutes. Darius Adams 3 for 4 from the line so far. We'll see if he can improve that clip. Maryland 13-21 from the free throw line, just 62%. When on the year they're averaging 78% from the line.
13 of 21 so far, and the 22nd is good to make it 39-31. Adams, a guy we mentioned earlier, out of New Jersey. He played his high school ball at La Lumiere in Indiana. That's one of the premier programs, not only in that Midwest area, but in the country. This is a guy who is a McDonald's All-American, the 4th highest recruit in Maryland history. Puts him in company with names like Diamond Stone, Derek Queen, and Jalen Smith. Second one, no good. Adams got his rebound. He handed it off to Payne, who throws it up, no good, and he's fouled again. The Seahawks have no answer for the Terps, especially once they get into the paint.
Can throw all kinds of size at Pharrell Payne, but it just doesn't matter. 6'7", 240, Bin Bazool unable to corral the rebound and unable to defend Payne, as now he will return to the line.
The foul goes on Brian Akonmu, as Payne too short on the first attempt. This is something that's got to grind Buzz's gears here. I mean, the Terps have left now 10 free throws off the board, shooting just 14 of 24. Payne with 16 points himself for the second, swishes it home. 40-31, 17 minutes to go in the second half here. Maryland ahead of Wagner by 9 on WMUC Sports Radio. Nifty pass under the Maryland press to find Jaden Baker. Baker to Akonmu. A quick handoff, skating through, but missing the pass was Jones. It was a nifty pass to find the cutting Wagner guard, but he just sailed the interior. That might have been deflected by Maryland, and it will stay on that side.
Nick Jones had an open floater there. I mean, if Wagner's going to get out of this funk and catch up, it's going to be Nick Jones leading the way, their top scorer. And he had an open floater there, but he passed it up. Unselfish play, trying to find it inside, and Wagner keeps it.
Long outlet pass to Jones. He matches up against Adams. Drives inside. As he falls, he kicks it out. Contested three-pointer, no good. But the rebound goes to Bazool. Bazool double-teamed. Has to back away. Back down low they go. Baker is blocked by Payne. A fight for it. Mills collects it briefly. Now near the scorer's table, it's a fight for it. But this time Wagner has it. Now they have numbers going the other way. Bazool kicks it back out, and they can't keep it in bounds. He tried to find Baker. It goes out of play. And Maryland takes possession here. Still leading 40-31 with 16:20 to go in the second half.
Ball was scrambling everywhere, and so far in this season, as Maryland is now 9 games in, on those 50-50 scramble drills, we're seeing Maryland get the better end of those hustle plays, and that's no surprise with the Buzz Williams squad. Those intense practices over the summer, they're paying off so far, and Maryland gets the ball back, forcing another turnover.
Isaiah Watts will check in. Darius Adams heads to the bench. Colin Metcalf also in as well. Alex Alston, the third new Terp. Long outlet pass, tipped initially, but Watts able to keep it in bounds. Behind the back, Rice, floater with the right hand, too short off the front rim. Mills there for the rebound, scurries around a couple, and can't get it to go. The Terps playing really close to the rim, but they haven't been as efficient as they wanted. Just 29% from the field here. 40-31, Wagner left to right. Here's Bazool on the left three-point line. They'll go down low against a squabble of Terps. They kick it now down to the near corner. It's no good on an air ball attempt. And we hit a timeout here. So 40-31 with 15 and a half to play in the second half. Maryland has picked up where they left off. Wagner in a 2-minute scoring drought. We'll take a break and come back for the final 15 minutes of this one. Maryland ahead of Wagner by 9 on WMUC Sports. a great Maryland tradition. They just dropped the flag out there in the student section. And this isn't exactly a sellout crowd here. They haven't announced what the official attendance is, but considering it's a cold Tuesday night, a late start at 8 p.m., it's a pretty solid crowd here for Maryland versus Wagner.
Nice atmosphere for this non-conference tune-up. They're watching their Maryland team starting to pull ahead here in the second half.
Andre Mills able to split two Wagner defenders. Alex Alston hands it off. Pharrell Payne with two hands slams it home. 42-31. Maryland now with an 11-point advantage over Wagner. And a couple new Terps on the floor. Alston and now Solomon Washington back in. Here's a Conwu. Drops it off to Smith, who floats it home. That's Pazul with the correction. Wagner calls a timeout here. So Benji and Wagner put up that full court press. Maryland broke it pretty quickly. And even though the Seahawks responded with the bucket, Coach McMillan still wants some time.
Maryland not stressing over the press. They've had that 2-2-1 for most of the game, switching it off with the man, and there on that man press. It just failed them as Maryland broke the press. And now Maryland with a 9-point lead, but we talked about earlier how they've also missed 10 free throws. So with Maryland playing a little better in the second half, this could be a very different ball game if they just hit their free throws, but also hit their open layups that they've had in the first half. But a little cleaner basketball towards the end of the first half and to start things now in the second frame.
The Terps have attempted 19 more free throws than Wagner and lead by 9. We'll take a quick break here. Maryland up 42-33 with 15-11 to go in the second half. Terps on top here. You're listening to Maryland men's basketball on WMUC Sports. Out of the media timeout here, just over 15 minutes left in this one between Maryland and Wagner. Terps have slowly built up their lead here in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Their leading scorer is Pharrell Payne with 19 points. 9 of them have come from the charity stripe. Thanks for joining us on WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein alongside Benji Kaufman and Jackson Wantman, our great sideline reporter, alongside us here. It has been a slow one. There's been not as many field goals as you'd think in a typical college basketball game, just 24 combined from these two teams. Maryland starts with it right to left. Here's Andre Mills matching up against Elijah Brown, the freshman. Dishes it off to Solomon Washington. And a foul will send it the other way.
Maryland came out of the first timeout of the second half strong with the bucket, but now here just an offensive foul. Not a great start. Maryland's got to keep up this rhythm to maintain this lead.
Awoke to Nick Jones. He goes back to the junior Awoke, the Alexandria native. Hands it off to Brian Akonmu. Out to Awoke, matches up against Mills near the three-point line. To the near side with Jones. All the way to the other side, a nice pass. In the far corner, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Basil's just going to throw it up. I'm not sure if he knew there was another second on the clock. Maybe the band threw him off, counting a little early. Here are the Terps the other way. Here's Diggy Coit to Mills. Down low, Payne off the glass and good with the foul. Farrell's definitely feeling happy tonight. He's got 21 pending the free throw. And the Terps back into double digits, up 44-33.
That started with a nice pass from Andre Mills from the wing inside to the low post, and Pharrell Payne twisting, pirouetting, and laying it in, plus the foul.
It's Brian Akonmu's fourth foul, and it sends Payne to the line once again. The Texas A&M transfer, a guy who spent 2 years at Minnesota. He's familiar with Big Ten basketball. And before his brief stop in College Station, he's back in the Big Ten. He knocked down the free throw to make it 45-33. Terps on top by 12 here. Left to right go the Seahawks. Placer to the left side. Now at the top of the key with Smith. Back to Eddie Placer. Awoke hands it off. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wagner looking to get back into this one. Matching up against Coit. Mid-range jumper is good. John Awoke knocks that one in. He's on the board in this one. 45-35. Here's Coit with that monster performance versus Mount St. Mary's. A nifty pass to the near corner. Adams hits the three. DA with the three-pointer. And it's 48-35.
Nice shot from Darius Adams, stretching the floor. We're seeing him doing it at the free throw line, but make it his second three. That's 10 points for the freshman.
Here's Bazul. Matches up against Payne, but he's given him time for that three. They hand it off to Awoke. Matched up against Washington. Mid-range jumper, no good off the glass. Rebound, Washington.
Wagner's going to trickle back into this game. They're going to have to hit some of those difficult shots, but just too hard there.
13-point advantage for the Terps. Adams pump fakes, drives inside, hands it off. Payne! A two-handed jam. And the Terps starting to run away with it here. 50-35, the lead up to 15. And Maryland 4 of its last 4 from the field. Wagner comes the other way. Placer on the far end. Adams switches on to him. Now to Bazul. Looking to find Awoke. They hand it off to Smith. Down low. A double team on Smith. Stolen away by the Terps. Watts goes the other way. Euro step. Misses the layup. And the rebound is tapped in by Darius Adams. He's got 5 of the last 7 points. And it's 52-35.
Adams doing a little bit of everything. We saw him hit the three, the nice pass.
Ball went out of bounds. It's going to be Terps basketball here, as Wagner will make some substitutions. 52-35, Maryland on top with 12:11 to go. As Pharrell Payne ties his shoe, he's earned it. 24 points for the senior Payne. Colin Metcalf will sub in for him, and Maryland will take it. Terps have been on a good run here. 52-35. Right to left go the Terps. Adams steps back. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound goes to Colin Metcalf. The Northeastern transfer fought hard for it, but he gave it up, but was fouled as he tried to put the ball back towards the three-point line. And we hit the under 12 media timeout here. 52-35, Terps opening up a 17-point lead over the Seahawks. We'll be back for the rest of this one on WMUC Sports. just under 12 minutes left in this one. Maryland has definitely played better in the second half. Started to score a little more, 52-35, a 17-point advantage for the Terps over Wagner. Jackson, our man on the sideline, what you got for us?
Yeah, Daniel, well, it's the return of Solomon Washington tonight for the Terps, or should I say the debut for Washington. It's his first game of the season after missing the first 8 with an injury. 17 minutes on the floor tonight, 4 points, 3 rebounds, and a block and a steal. Looked very mobile during warm-ups today for the Terps. Suited up for the Players Era tournament, but he didn't play. This is going to be a big addition for the Terps that have been in need of front court depth throughout the season. Assistant coach Aki Collins said that Solo won't solve all the problems that the Terps have right now, but his experience and toughness will help. Added that his rebounding, defense, and interior presence will be crucial for this Terps team. Also, he added, Daniel, that he believes if they had Washington for the Georgetown game, they likely would have won that game. Not a bad argument considering the Terps got beat down physically and on the low block that game. The physicality and intensity starting to pick up, though, for the Terps in the second half. We'll see if they can finish Wagner off. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Jackson, and that's a good point. I mean, that was a tough game for the Terps at home against Georgetown. They're just their second game of the season. They lost that one 70-60. And you mentioned his experience. I mean, this is the guy who had nearly 100 appearances for Texas A&M across his 3 years in College Station. So getting Washington back has been very beneficial for the Terps, who are on a 7-0 run in the last minute and a half in this game. They lead 52-35 here on WMUC Sports. Wagner, meanwhile, Benji, in a scoring drought. Their last 2 minutes without a field goal. What's gone wrong for them?
You know, we're seeing Maryland pull ahead, and that's first half we saw it was forcing the turnovers, but now it's just Wagner. There's a lid on the bucket on this side of the court. Wagner not getting the better end of those shots. Haven't scored in about 2 minutes. Taking good shots, but Maryland continues to play strong defense and get a hand in their face and just not falling for the Seahawks, and it's allowed Maryland to pull ahead.
Maryland will start with it under the Wagner basket. Isaiah Watts to inbounds. Look to draw up a play. They find Adams on the near three-pointer. Drives on Jones. Adams near the free throw line, one-legged, hands it off to Metcalf, who dives for it, but can't keep it in bounds. And is this ball going to stay with the Terps is the question here. Looks like it will. Andre Mills will check in. Darius Adams will check out. 5 on the floor for the Terps. Elijah Saunders, Diggy Coit, Andre Mills, Isaiah Watts, and Colin Metcalf. Saunders out to Metcalf near the three-point line. On the far side, Elijah gets it back. Matched up against Fitch. Goes to work, puts the shoulder in with the right hand, can't bounce it up. That will stay there. Foul on the floor. This is just going to stay in Wagner territory here. And the Seahawks just continue. They were able to stop fouling the Terps for a little bit, but now those foul troubles have come back.
Difficult for 6'2" Jaden Baker to block out 6'9" Colin Metcalf, and Metcalf will now go to the line. Once again, no Adams, no Rice on the floor. We'll see who this offense runs through, and smattering of guys with Coit and Watts in the backcourt, but now it's Metcalf playing at center, and now he's at the charity stripe.
Metcalf with a 1-and-1. Can't bounce the first one in. Rebound goes to Xavier Fitch, the Chicago native out of Brother Rice High School. Hands it off. Baker to the far side with Placer. Matched up against Saunders. They work it down low. A double team with Elijah and Colin. Baker, a step back three-pointer is good. Rattles it home. 52-38. Wagner cuts the Maryland lead by 3. And the Terps work the other way. 11:15 to go in the second half. Terps from right to left. Diggy Coit blasts past Jones. Euro steps, kicks it out. He was fouled before the Terps could complete that play. And it looks like we'll get another Terp at the free throw line. Wagner with their 9th foul here.
Seeing all these fouls from Wagner just about 9 minutes in to the second half. This is going to be a point of emphasis for this Wagner Seahawks team moving forward. Can they defend without fouling? They certainly got the talent to compete in the NEC and defend those top teams, but they're going to have to play some cleaner basketball moving forward.
They send Diggy Coit to the line, who drills the first free throw. And Coit's a great story coming out of Columbus, New Jersey. He started off at Atlantic Cape Community College as a true freshman, where he put up 30 points a game. It was the D3 scoring champ. Then he goes to NIU for 2 years. He makes both free throws here to make it 54-38 Terps. Tears it up in the MAC for 2 years. Plays on the bench in Kansas, and now is here with Maryland. He's in the game here as Sam Smith fires away and swishes a three. 54-41, a 6-point answer from the Seahawks here. And Wagner's cut the lead to 13. Under 11 minutes to go. Andre Mills dribbles it a bit and hands it off. Now here's Diggy. Gets a screen from Payne. Now runs into a double team. He's got a wide open Elijah Saunders on the near side for three. No good, too short off the front iron. Here come the Seahawks the other way with Baker. Matches up against Saunders. Gets a screen from Smith. Out of the near side with Nick Jones. Got a mismatch with Payne. Jones, extra pass to Baker. A step back three. No good, rims out. That would have been a big answer. The third straight three from the Seahawks. Instead, 54-41, Maryland ahead by 13. Coit to the basket with the right hand, it's good. Just a matter of time until Diggy got on the board. It's a guy who put up 41 points, the third most of any Terp in Maryland history. Jones tries to answer with a right-handed layup. It's no good, but he was fouled. Boy, not a lot of defense on that last play, Benji, as it looked like some miscommunication led Jones to drive inside.
Coit thought Payne was going to hedge on that pick-and-roll screen as Coit just let him drive with his right hand to the lane. And Coit finally getting on the board with that crafty layup. But when he's been in that starting role, he's taken a lot of threes early. And tonight, hasn't even attempted one from beyond the arc. As Wagner here, Jones misses the first free throw.
Nick Jones, a transfer from Harcum College. He played 2 years there, nearly 60 appearances. He was very good there, 16 points a game. His second free throw is good to make the score 56-42. Maryland ahead by 14, under 10 minutes to play. Trying to break the full court press. Terps work right to left. Here's Diggy. Now crosses the timeline with slight defense from Baker. He gets a screen from Payne. Out to the near side with Watts. Saunders, corner three. It's good! Elijah Saunders, his third three of the game. 59-42, Terps ahead by 17. Here come the Seahawks on the other side. Step back mid-range jumper, too strong from Eddie Placer. Rebound Payne. Diggy Coit, hop steps, works inside, kicks it out. Saunders, why not let it fly? No good. He gets his own rebound, but got it poked away. Placer on the other end. Seahawks going quickly. Jones skates through. He lost it, but the Terps called for a foul. And it looks like he'll send Nick Jones to the line again. But Elijah Saunders, 9 points, 3 of 7. He shot 6 of his 7 field goal attempts from behind the arc. And he's made 3 of them. So a pretty solid shooting clip for the Virginia transfer.
Didn't have the best time out west in Las Vegas. Not a great shooting number, but comes back to College Park, settles back in. He's hit 3 threes.
So Nick Jones, a guy who's shooting 83% from the charity stripe this season, has already missed 2 of them. And he's 1 for 3. 9:13 to go in the second half. Maryland against Wagner. And the boys from College Park lead 59-42. Second one good from Jones. He's gone 1 for 2 on his 2 trips to the free throw line. 16-point advantage for Maryland, who has gotten that field goal percentage up in this second half, now shooting 36% from the field, out shooting the Seahawks 33. Fast break for the Terps. The lob, the jam! Farrell with 2 hands for safety. And it's 61-43. Payne's got 26. Here are the Seahawks on the other end. Jones kicks it out to Smith at the top of the key. He tries a 3. No good, rims out. Washington with the rebound. Terps going quickly on the opposite end. Miles Rice hands it off. Washington down low. Why not feed Payne? He had trouble controlling it. Gets it back, gathers, throws it up, and is fouled again. He was working against 2 or 3 Seahawks there. He just barreled through them, and now we'll head to the free throw line.
Back on that Payne dunk off the feed from Guillermo Del Pino. They broke the press perfectly. Passing through the pressure, if you dribble through it, it's not going to work out, but all the veterans on the team for Maryland break it effortlessly, and it leads to a Payne dunk, but now Payne's back at the free throw line once again.
Swishes the first one to make the lead 19 for the Terps. And Payne, a guy who's as seasoned as they come in the Big Ten. He's the active leader in field goal percentage. But, he took a year off from playing in the Big Ten Conference in favor of the SEC. He goes 2 for 2 this time, and we'll check out to scattered applause here. Colin Metcalf in his place. 5 on the floor for the Terps. Saunders, Watts, Rice, Washington, and Metcalf. Skating through and laying it in with the left hand is Eddie Placer to cut the lead to 63-45. 8:22 to go in the second half. Maryland widening the lead here against the Wagner Seahawks. Here's Miles Rice, no stranger to Big Ten ball himself, coming from Indiana. Rice double teamed on the far side. Behind the three-point line, he drives near side, almost steps out of bounds, finds a corner three. Del Pino, no good. Metcalf with the rebound, he puts it up, and it's good. Colin Metcalf, the Northeastern transfer, a guy more known for his defense, able to lay that one in. It's a 20-point advantage for Maryland. Near side, Jones works on the freshman Del Pino, throws it up with the right hand and bounces it in. That's a junior working against a freshman, and Nick Jones, you knew at some point he was going to get on the board. 9 points for him, albeit on 3 of 10 shooting. 7:30 to go, Maryland up by 18. Here's Guillermo Del Pino. The Spanish freshman hands it off. Rice. Far side three-point line now, near the elbow. Kicks it out. Washington takes his time. 5 seconds on the shot clock. He'll get a screen from Metcalf. Runs into a double team, pick and roll. Metcalf throws it up. He's blocked, but a whistle and a foul. That should be on Eddie Placer. Correction, that one's going to be on Fitch, and that will take us to the under 8 media timeout. Good stretch for Maryland. They lead 65-47 and are 7 minutes away from a win. Don't go anywhere. We got the rest of this one coming up on WMUC Sports. (65-47), Terps on top of Wagner by 18 with just over 7 minutes to play here at the Xfinity Center. And Jackson, there are 10 transfers on this Maryland team, 5 freshmen, just 1 returner. They're still trying to figure out some new lineups.
Yeah, Daniel, well, when you have a first-year head coach, an entire roster of new players who have all openly admitted that they're still figuring out how to play together, you got to experiment with these rotations, and the health of this Maryland team has not helped with that. Solomon Washington obviously making his season debut tonight. Miles Rice has been in and out of the lineup. Pharrell Payne missed the game after his injury against Marquette. You've seen guys like Diggy Coy, Andre Mills filter in and out of the lineup. Assistant coach Akee Collins said that figuring out how to make a team of essentially 10 new players with 4 coming together from A&M is challenging. but they're figuring it out, and it's sort of a beauty of the process. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jackson. That is true. You mentioned a guy like Diggy Coit as Colin Metcalf heads to the line. He misses the first one. Coit has started the last 6 games, but he had a season-low 6 points in his last 2, so he wasn't in the starting lineup because they had Solomon Washington back. Metcalf goes 1 for 2, and it almost contributes to the depth of this team, the fact that they can just kind of play anyone in the starting lineup. As here are the Seahawks the other way. Here's a 3-point attempt on the far side, short off the left rim and grabbed by Miles Rice. Terps go the other way, 66-47. Right to left goes Maryland in their white unis. Here's Solomon Washington, his Maryland debut. Hands it off to Rice, now to Saunders. To Metcalf at the top of the key. He spins, looks for a pass, and finds one with Rice. Under 8 on the shot clock. Step back midi, jumper is good. Miles Rice. Might as well put your phone in Rice there with the nifty jumper. 68-47, Terps up by 21. Seahawks the other way here, 6.5 to play. Handoff, 3-pointer, Baker, no good. Off the front of the rim and a whistle. And speaking of 21, Benji, number 21 for the Terps has had himself quite the night.
Making a new career high for Pharrell Payne. 28 points to go along with 9 rebounds. His best game as a Terp so far has just been the anchor for this team. And when not a lot of rhythm going or you need a bucket, you go to Pharrell Payne inside, and he's also opened things up for other players as well. And without him, his team wouldn't go so far. But number 21 in red and gold, his team has hope.
Colin Metcalf back at the line after being fouled on the Wagner side. He swishes the first one. Metcalf, who made his only start of the season against Mount St. Mary's, now getting some minutes here. Played about 6 so far in this game. Trying to get the 70th point on the board for the Terps, who already are up by 22. He's unable to do so. Missed free throw, rebounded by Bazul. Comes the other way. On the far side, here's a 3-pointer. No good, but the foul is committed by Metcalf. And this should be 3 free throws here. For Wagner, it's starting to slip away. It's just the field goal percentage has tapered off, but the difference in free throws has really been a difference in this game, Benji. 7 free throws made from Wagner, 22 for the Terps.
22 makes, but along with 35 attempts in total, they've missed 13 free throws, and I'm guessing that'll be the first point of emphasis in practice tomorrow morning, and Metcalf on that foul shot as Cooper makes the first free throw. He left his feet, jumped, and bumped the shooter. The guy already at 6'9", just put your hand up and you can put up a good contest.
Cooper puts up his second free throw and hits it. He's 2 for 2 so far. 69-49 with the clock stopped at 6:10. Maryland has silenced some doubters after the first half, a shaky one. Maryland still led at the end of the half, but the field goal shooting was not there. They've pulled away, making 5 of their last 7 field goals. Cooper makes all 3, a 19-point lead for the Terps, but Wagner staying in it. Full court press, Darius Adams gets it off the rebound, trying to break it, which he does. Matched up against Nick Jones. The freshman Adams hands it off to the senior Washington. Now Miles Rice, way beyond the 3-point line. Drives inside and draws a foul. This has just been the name of the game for the Terps tonight. 12 fouls now on Wagner in the half. And Miles Rice will head to the line with the Terps in the double bonus.
About 20 seconds ago, Pharrell Payne checked back in, and you're probably wondering why would Payne come back in under 6 minutes to go. Maryland up 19. This team is still figuring itself out, as all 3 of us have mentioned, and so they're learning to play with all these new teammates, trying to find some groove together, even in these times where they're already up big, as Miles Rice hits the first.
Miles Rice, the Indiana transfer. Before that, spent 3 years at Washington State. Knocks down both of his free throws, a 21-point game. Rice was all Pac-12 first team in the final seasons of the Pac-12 up in Washington State. Had a strong lone season with the Hoosiers, and now in Maryland. Poked away by the Terps on that last possession. This will stay with the Seahawks on the far side, right under the Maryland basket. 5:47 to play. 71-50. Terps up by 21 on WMUC Sports. Thanks for spending your Tuesday night with us. Long inbound pass goes to Jones, who collected it on the Maryland side and then skated to the Wagner side. A backcourt violation turns it over, and Maryland will take possession.
1 foot on one half, second foot on the other as Jones corrals it over Rice. It was a nice catch, but it's over and back, and ball goes to Maryland. Another turnover for the Seahawks, make it 13 on the night.
Here's David Coit. Down to Pharrell Payne into the corner with Rice. He drives baseline. Nice nifty pass. Up and under layup by Adams. No good. Rebound Payne over 3 Seahawks. Got the rebound again, but was fouled before. And would you know, Pharrell heading to the line again. He's already shot 18 free throws. That's more than the entirety of the Wagner team. And he'll have 2 more here.
Doesn't matter how many Seahawks you put in the paint. Pharrell Payne is just going to catch the ball off the glass and go with the offensive rebound, and now back to the line. 28 points in 26 minutes for the A&M transfer.
Payne looking for his first 30-burger in his career. He's now 1 point away from it after making the first free throw. 5:35 to play here at the Xfinity Center. A scattered crowd cheering on a Terps team that has just continued to pull away from Wagner. And it's good for Payne. 30 points for Pharrell. 73-50. Terps ahead. Wagner goes the other way. Here's Placer. Looks for a pass to his left. Instead goes to his right to Bazul. Stolen by Payne. Coit off the glass to Washington. There is a whistle right after. And on the lob, is this a foul on Washington? Did he get teed up for that?
Looks like he held on to the rim just a little too long. Nice pass from Coit, floating it up, and Washington doing the rest, hanging up, and as he leverages himself up to the rim, as soon as he comes down, the ref motions for attack, and Washington can't believe it.
He almost did a pull-up on the rim after he threw it down. That's his 4th foul, and it's going to send technical free throws here Wagner's way. First one is good from Jones. 75-51, 24-point advantage for the Terps. Washington will stay in the game, and you know those technicals are always a judgment call, but they've tried to tighten up that rule, not allowing players to hang on the rim as long. But I don't know, I know I'm biased, but I'd give Washington the benefit of the doubt on that play.
It was a hype play, got the crowd rowdy, but I mean, Wagner got those 2 points right back with those technical free throws, so all we got from that was a great celebration with those 2 points undone.
Play is stopped here with a couple of the referees talking it over on the Maryland side near the scoring table. I'm not quite sure what this is about. One referee has the ball in his left hand. He heads over to the scoring table. Okay, so maybe you could hear Matt Noble, the PA announcer. Okay, so a Class B. So a Class B technical foul, which Jones made the only free throw. Wagner ball here, 75-51. So the brief intermission over with here with Wagner inbound again. 5:18 to play. Terps up 24 in the final non-conference matchup before Big Ten play. Here's Placer into the near corner. A drive inside. Back out to the near side. Baker drives. Able to bounce it in is the cutting Basil. Make it 75-53. As things slow down here with under 5 minutes to play. Miles Rice on the opposite end for the Terps. To Washington, to Coit. Back to Rice. Standing right on the edge of the Maryland M in the middle of the timeline. Now Payne at the top of the key. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He kicks it out. Washington thought about the 3. Dishes it back underneath. Payne meets a double team. Wayward pass. Coit as the shot clock expires. No good. Too strong. Adams able to fetch the rebound. Lobs it up. Washington! How's that for an answer? Washington springs up and slams it home, 77-53. Step back shot is good on the opposite end from Nick Jones. They'll call it a 3. They're going to say it's a long 2, correction, 77-55. Under 4 minutes to play. Here's Diggy Coit. Crosses over. Receives a screen and finds Adams. Pump fake inside. Adams up and under. No good. Just smoked the layup with the right hand. Here comes Basil the other way. Hands it off. This is Brown. Elijah Brown, the freshman. Works inside on Coit. Meets Payne in the paint. No good. Too short on the layup. Terps have a 3-on-1 on the opposite side. No look pass. Adams blocked at the rim. Nick Jones really got up there. Now it's Wagner's turn on the other way, and the right-handed layup is good to make it 77-57 with a timeout. Did Buzz call this timeout? Well, either way, it's a break. 77-57. Maryland closing this one out, putting the finishing touches on what should be their 6th win of the season. Stick around. We got the final 3 minutes and 14 seconds of this one when we come back on WMUC Sports. Terps up big here with 3 minutes and change to go from the Xfinity Center. Maryland men's basketball up 77-57 against Wagner. Thanks for joining us here on WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein alongside Benji Kaufman and Jackson Wantman, our guy on the sidelines. And Benji, Maryland's outscored Wagner 44-31 in the second half. What have you liked on offense from the Terps?
Lots to like on offense, especially more rhythm, and it starts with Darius Adams doing a bit of everything. He's made some threes. He's got to the free throw line. He's also set up his teammates for a number of layups, but also especially we just saw with that nice jam to Solomon Washington. And as we see which guard the offense runs through, it could be either Miles Rice, it could be Darius Adams. Sometimes it's even Diggy Coit, but this second half has been Darius Adams also chiming in on those hustle plays. Number 1 freshman has been doing it all in the second half.
Adams has been 3 of 12 from the field, but 12 points and 4 free throws. He was also just issued a technical foul during the break, as was Nick Jones of Wagner. So the no free throws as the technicals offset. It's Maryland's ball under their own basket. Coit to inbound to Rice. 3:14 on the clock. Maryland up 20. Rice guarded tightly as he crosses the timeline. Works on the near side. Washington calling for it. He goes the other way to Coit. Wrapping around the three-point line are the Terps. Now Rice. A handoff from Saunders. Rice floats it with the right hand. It's good. And a whistle after that bucket here. This looks like it's on Wagner. Clock stops with 2:53 to go. And we'll send Solomon Washington to the line. That's Elijah Brown, the freshman, committing the foul. So Solomon Washington, we've talked about him all night. It's been his Terp debut and been a solid one. 8 points on 50% shooting from the field, 6 rebounds, and a block and a steal to go with it. Heads to the free throw line and drills the first one to make it 80-57. Terps up by 23.
Certainly displayed that he can be that glue guy for Maryland moving forward. Obviously that ugly stat lineup, but he's shown that he can do a little more and especially defend for the Terps.
Knocks down both of his free throws. Maryland up 81-57 with 2:53 to play. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks as Maryland closes out non-conference play but also introduces conference play with Wagner coming up. Stolen away. Rice on the inbound, throws it up on the fast break off the glass and good. 83-57. Miles Rice puts that in off the assist from Saunders. Brown the other way. Stolen again by Miles Rice. This time he's going to lay it in with no glass. 57 points for Wagner, 85. Has 4 straight points from Miles Rice. He's got 14. Final 2 minutes and change of this one. Here's Basil dealing with the Terp double team. He steps through it, works into the paint, and a nifty move to get it off the glass. Timeout called by Wagner. So interim coach Dwan McMillan will take some time to talk to his team. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here on WMUC Sports. But as you mentioned, Iowa coming up. It's a new-look Hawkeye team. Then after that, you have to go on the road against Michigan in Ann Arbor, tough place. Then if it isn't bad enough, then you go on the road to play UVA, which is an old-school ACC-era matchup. So this is a Maryland team that's really going to be tested in the next week or so.
Lots of tough tests for Maryland, and they started off slow tonight, but they picked it up in the second half. But against these tougher squads, the Big Ten and now the AC and also the ACC, they're not going to afford to have these slow starts, but showing a lot of resilience tonight that can certainly carry over to conference play.
85 points for the Terps. It's now the third highest total this season they've accumulated. The highest is still that Mount St. Mary's overtime win, 95-90, back on the 19th right here at the Xfinity Center. It was an unexpectedly close game, but the Terps showed some grit and pulled out that win. And now they're just 2 minutes and 2 seconds away from advancing to 6-3 on the young season. They lead 85-59 here as Rice works it up. Couple of crossover moves, hands it off to Coit. There's Alex Alston in the game, freshman out of Kenwood Academy in Chicago. Down low, Saunders able to keep his dribble, matches up against Bazul, drives in, steps back, hands it off to Mills, who tries a three, and no good off the front of the rim. And another foul and some jawing here between Alston and a member of Wagner. They have to push Alex Alston back. I believe that was Michael Cooper who was having a conversation with him. And this game has kind of quietly accumulated a couple of technical fouls in this game. It doesn't seem like any have been issued here on this last exchange. But Xavier Watts will check in. Not quite sure what happened on that last play. It was a fight for a rebound.
Certainly got a little chippy there as Alston and Cooper were fighting for a rebound, but that turned into arguing each other in each other's faces, and then both guys had to be pulled aside by each of their teammates, and now both Alston and Cooper meeting with their respective coaches. Michael Cooper is assessed a technical foul that's announced here. A lot of extracurriculars in these last few minutes between these two teams.
So Alex Alston and Michael Cooper both get teed up. So you add that for the Terps. Darius Adams has been teed up. Alex Alston has been teed up. Nick Jones has been teed up for Wagner, and now Michael Cooper has been teed up. It's 4 technical fouls in this game. So Wagner will take it the other way. 90 seconds to go. Terps up by 26. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's on a good team win here. On the far side works Wagner. Working against Mills. A tough layup, no good from Cooper. Terps get the rebound. Coit going quickly on the fast break. Thought about the 3, pulls up, gets it back, and will just slow things down. No need to do much more on offense. It's been a good showing for the Terps after getting off to a slow start, now shooting from 41% from the field, a lot closer to their season average. Rice with 9 on the shot clock, drives inside, is fouled, and can't get the floater to go. And we'll get 2 more free throws here before this one ends. Miles Rice now matching his season average with Washington State a couple years ago, sitting around 14 points a game. He's got a chance to improve upon that here with a couple of free throws. It's now 17 fouls for Wagner in this half. The Seahawks have just had no answer to the Terps when they've driven inside. Rice makes the first.
Now with 15 points is Miles Rice, now and 13 of them coming in the second half. Miles Rice, one of the many guys in Maryland helping this offense pick up in the second frame.
Second free throw is good, 87-59. Terps ahead by 28. Wagner takes it the other way, stolen away. Andre Mills had it for the second, but Jones takes it back. Crosses over, works to the left block, throws it up, fouled. And this game will go on as Saunders commits the infraction. Clock is stopped at 44.6 seconds.
Have 4 fouls for Elijah Saunders. Been solid on the offensive side. 23 minutes. He's 3 for 6 from 3. Just 1 miss from inside the arc. But on defense, he's got 4 fouls. And where Maryland has very played solid defense, Saunders has also tallied 4 fouls, looking to play cleaner, moving along.
First one good from Nick Jones. For Wagner, this ends a grueling away stretch. Their first 7 games have been on the road. That's also included 2 overtime games, including the last one, which was their first win of the season at Manhattan College. They now return home for 4 straight games as they'll end out non-conference play back in Staten Island. And Wagner calls a timeout here. 44.6 seconds to go. That's how long the Terps are from a win. We'll take a quick break and be back for the final minute of this one on WMUC Sports. Back here on WMUC Sports, 87-61. Maryland ahead in the final 45 seconds of this one. They'll inbound to a full court press from Wagner. Miles Rice with it. The 5 on the floor for the Terps. Rice, Coit, Mills, Metcalf, and Adams. Or Watts, excuse me. Terps can just dribble it out here. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Coit against the double team down low. Metcalf spins back inside to a cutting Mills, who throws it up and is fouled. Andre Mills will head to the line as the Terps not satisfied with 43 free throws. They want 44 and 45. Andre Mills has a chance to get on the scoreboard here in the final seconds of this one.
Mills getting to the free throw line from that nice feed from Colin Metcalf, and as incredible as Pharrell Payne has been, it's going to be very important for Colin Metcalf to give the team some strong reserve minutes when Payne is off the floor, as Mills knocks down the first one.
So he's on the board with a point here. Second one is good. Wagner will dribble it out, 15 seconds. Jones matches up against Rice and draws a foul. Both teams still just looking to get to the charity stripe here. For those of you wondering at home, the Maryland record for single game free throws made is Diamond Stone, who hit 19 against Penn State in 2015. Well, Pharrell Payne got close. He hit 14 of his 20 attempts in this game. The Terps have just got to the charity stripe and often. And Wagner, as the game has gone on, has got there too. Shot now 17 free throws, and they've made 14 of them. 89-62 with 15 seconds to go. Nick Jones to the free throw line. Second free throw is good. Diggy to inbound. He finds Watts with 14 seconds. Maryland just needs to cross the timeline to run this one out. 89-63. Buzz Williams and Dwan McMillan inch closer to the middle of the scoring table. And the final horn sounds. That writes a final of this one, 89-63. Williams and McMillan shake hands, and the players walk to their respective sides. The sixth win of the season for Maryland. They now sit at 6-3 on the season. Wagner drops to 1-5 before heading home for the first time this year. And Benji, after kind of a confusing first half for the Terps offensively, they were able to snap out of it in the second half and walk away with a 26-point win.
Maryland went into the break up 33-26, shooting just 10 of 33 from the floor with 58% from the free throw line, but Buzz Williams gave the team a good pep talk. They came out of the break and they scored 56 points in the last 20 minutes, 78% from the line, a 20% boost at the charity stripe, and also shooting over 50% from the floor. It was a much cleaner half of basketball for Maryland. More guys chipped in. There was fast breaks, there were threes, and there were a lot of passes inside, especially Maryland showing off the Lob City attributes of this team. A lot to be excited about, but a lot to work on. But Maryland will now go into conference play on the road at Iowa. We'll see if the Terps can translate the good from non-conference into difficult matchups in the conference.
No doubt a interesting but challenging three-game stretch is ahead on the road for the Terps. That'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Thanks for hanging with us here on a Tuesday night. For our sideline reporter, Jackson Wantman, our partner, Benji Kaufman, and myself, Daniel Stein, signing off here from the Xfinity Center. Final score from College Park. Maryland dismantles Wagner by a score of 89-63. We'll see you next time.